like animal farm. Justice mean inequity. So who go say the truth? Who go say the truth? Christian can say silence. Islamic leaders silence. Kings and queens silence. Traditional leaders silence. So who go say the truth? We are the workers of composite call. Now by area, why no better? We are the workers of composite call. One guy's out here, why no better? Who go say the truth? Who go say the truth? Oh, he need it now, see what I see so. Na your friend on a nine come at them. Only papi obeka na sembia. So I want obet you too. Everybody was afraid. And when you nan to my cottage again nine. Once my boy dumping one and but who go tell the truth? Nanai or say me. Nanso bien person beka wasam because everybody is afraid. Anya safwe muayini. Aku drop on yina dalima. And see who go say the truth. Obiaja konson so to cross your mansa to me be a cacobrafo. Efo anyina ye. Efo when you know yet. Na so kutrata down na so be dia back or why no keke. I fene for be man mo pia for efo ne cross on my mo. Hanya safwe mo ayini. Akuku trofo nyina dalima. And who go say the truth? Abaya di bote chino. Yedi bi bebo nyande bi. Kachisa would your mouth pipinuma. Would your mind never shine my frafonsa? But who go tell the truth? DUC silence. Even journalists silence. Oh, then who go say the truth? Right is right. Wrong is wrong, no matter how you justify. You say you wanna get rid of corruption. Someone want to help you, now the person become your target. Jobless no they mean senseless. Poverty no they mean useless. One day them go resist.
Yamamu ajo esan emamu akaba eduba no kreme din ede Antonia Kipa ifa ani ede no krenum atu bibia e wose edda.
Tune in on Today's Ghana News TV on our usual socio-political show, MyView.
Jumedi and Today's Ghana News TV so na Today's Ghana News TV ubenya live on YouTube yɛda nyame ase ɛnɛ nso ayɛ awurade pɛ sɛ me ne wahyia ɛwɔ Today Ghana News TV kasafidie so.
Today Ghana News TV, we are the masters of the game.
Well, if you still have not still subscribed to Today's Ghana News TV, kindly do so on our social media platforms, especially YouTube and Facebook. A very good evening to you, and once again, you are welcome to our socio-political program, MyView, coming to you live on Today's Ghana News TV. We are equally live on all our social media platforms on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, and what have you, all on the name Today's Ghana News TV. And we are live in Europe here by satellite too. And you can get us as well as podcasts on Anchor FM. And we have other feedbacks that have been picked up along the line. So wherever you are, you have not made a mistake. It is because we are starting a blessed and a blissful new week. And as it is, we share your views, and you take my view as well as the view of our guest for this evening's program. And together, we put it and then see how best it will turn around Mother Ghana for us. So if you have just tuned in, it is MyView Show on Today's Ghana News TV. Stay tuned, and when I come back, I will introduce to you the topic that we want to look at and the personality that will lead us in this evening's discussion. Once again, welcome and stay tuned. Yeah, welcome back. And today we are drifting into another area. We want to look at production in the media landscape, especially that a book has just been written, and we'll be doing a review of it on the basic broadcasting production principles. So we want to look at it and see. The media is often said to be the fourth estate, and how is that contributing to a development of our democracy? We will look at it, and then we'll look at the basic principles in production, which is a key area when it comes to communication. And I'm very privileged to have no other person but Mr. Timothy Enchui Otto, who is a journalist himself and then the author of this book. So we are privileged to have him this evening so that we'll have a discussion on it, why the book and where the book will lead us to. Mr. Enchui Otto, you're most welcome.
Thank you. Good evening, my brother, and good evening to our viewers and listeners across the world.
Wonderful. I think everybody is privileged to listen to you today. And before we get to the book itself and look at the motivation for its production, very often, and a lot of people, including myself, we hear often that it is said that in the media is the fourth estate of the realm. I mean, basically, What does that mean?
Well, my brother, thank you very much. Basically, what we mean is that when you look at our governance system, we have three arms: the executive, the judiciary, and then the legislature. So the media as the fourth estate will augment these people. We are the gatekeepers. We keep these people in check. And that is why we are called the fourth estate of the realm. In fact, that is not constitutional. But because of the role we play in developing the nation. That is how we are called the fourth estate of the realm. So that is not in the constitution, but we are being touted as being the fourth estate of the realm.
Okay. So basically, as you said, you are the gatekeepers of all the arms of our governance system. And I'm pretty sure you have been in the media landscape for a very long time. Considering your experience and practice, what would be your assessment or the performance of our media in actually carrying out the gatekeeping capacity?
Okay, so let me go back a little. I think you asked about the number of years I've been in the media. I started as far back as the year 2003. That is 2003.
Okay.
So roughly, I've been in the media for 21 years. So the experience is there.
It's rich.
And then also back to your question about our role, how we are playing the role. I think the Ghanaian media, we've not done badly, but there are still more to do. We've not done badly, but there are still more to do. And if I say so, let me give an example to buttress the reasons why I said we have not done badly or we are not doing badly, but we can still do more. And rather, there's an issue that is confronting Ghana currently, which is the illegal mining, popularly known as galamsey. My assessment of this is that the media started a war against such acts because it is destroying our water bodies. Now, the Ghana Water Company is warning that if Ghana is not careful, very soon we'll be importing water. Meanwhile, we have so many water sources in the country that we do not need to import water. But because of our acts and actions and inactions, we may be compelled to import water. The media started a war, but along the line, we stopped the war. So if we had continued the war, we wouldn't have been at where we are now. But rather, if you go to some places in the western region, western north region, part of central region, you'll be amazed about what you will see regarding this illegal mining. Most of our water bodies have been destroyed. But if the media have been consistent in fighting against this canker in the society, we wouldn't have been where we are. But we started along the line, we stopped. So the media, we've not done badly, or we are not doing badly, but there's still more to do.
Yeah, that is that is very true, because for those of us who are up here, it is through the media that we get to know exactly the extent and of the damage caused by this issue of illegal mining in some areas and the destruction to our water bodies and then our farmlands. But even in coming to that, what caused the media to stop the fight?
Well, that's a big question for me to answer, but I'll try.
Okay.
Now, well, I represent a media house. I work with a media house.
Yeah.
So if I'm coming from the perspective of my angle, the only thing I would say is that it is the lack of commitment. We started the war, but along the line, I don't know what happened. We stopped reporting about it. It is also because the duty bearers in this country were not forthcoming with information. They were not ready to fight what we started, because the issue about illegal mining is not about the people who are on the ground. No, it is about politicians, chiefs, who are behind these people who are involved in illegal mining. For example, me, I don't have money to go and buy an excavator. So I will need a businessman, a politician, a chief who has that money to go and buy the excavator or time fine for me to enter into a forest or a water body to start mining illegally. Apart from that, we have these chiefs in the local communities. They see what goes on. They see these excavators being taken into the forest, but they don't say anything. Okay, so these are some of the things that brought, can I say, the relaxed about the fight against the illegal mining on the side of the media, because the government in power saw that, one, it is benefiting from the act because some politicians are behind. They get these illegal mining funds from these illegal miners to fund their political activities. So would you fight against something which is funding your political activities? No.
No.
So that is why the media also, at a point in time, we relaxed. And as we speak, things are bad. Ghana Medical Association is telling us that medicines that are given to some of these residents in the illegal mining areas are not able to fight the diseases. Their bodies have developed resistance to it because the cyanide that are used for the illegal minings have entered into the water bodies they drink. And as a result, if they fall sick, come to hospital, you give them medicine, the medicine cannot fight the illness. So that is where we've got into.
It's a big issue. I personally carry out a research work along Dunkwa Onofin area, looking at the impact of galamsey and the chemicals that they are using, and the levels are really high, and they find a way into lactating babies, through the breast milk and all that, and that is a very big danger for all of us. But now that the media probably, because government have lost interest and the media has also gone to sleep, then eventually it affects everybody and all of us are at a very big high risk. But all the same, let me say currently, well, the media has done well with the galamsey issue, but there is still more to be done. But as we sit here right now, what is newsworthy or very spectacular in Ghana this year is about the December elections. And so far, what would you think has been the contribution of the media in Ghana's democratic journey in the Fourth Republic?
Well, that's true. What I would say is it has not been bad. Ghana's democracy has been championed by the media. Without the media, there wouldn't have been Ghana that we have today. So many things have happened unknown. That's not augur well for the nation. But because of the vibrant media, our democracy is growing. Because I remember in the 90s, 92, before our democracy, or before 1992, there was nothing like democracy. There was dictatorship and so on and so forth. We had just the state-owned media. And for that matter, they couldn't come out with information for the public to know what is actually happening. But today, we have hundreds of media houses in the country, and for that matter, information is available. You cannot hide or you can't do something in secrecy. By all means, if a TV station or newspaper A or radio station A did not bring it out, C or D will bring it out. And for that matter, it is helping in the democracy. As we speak now, there's an ongoing symposium by the opposition party on the voters register. That is, they are calling for the forensic audit of the voters register. And without the media, we wouldn't have known that our voters register for the December election is bloated. Okay, so if you're asking about how the media is contributing towards our democracy, I will rate the media between 70 to 80%, because they are really doing well, of which I am proud to say I am really part of the champion for the democracy.
Wonderful. Before I switch to our main topic, which is about our book review, has social media, the social media, let's say the influx of social media, has it impacted on the traditional media?
It has. It has, because as we speak, before the thing happens or before the thing comes into the mainstream media, it's already in the social media. Okay, so gradually we are going to kind of lose the mainstream media. The reason is that now, like I said, before the thing happens, before the thing comes into the mainstream media, it's already in the social media. Now let me bring it down, or let me just break it. Now Ghana, the system is that we have time slot for especially news. So, for example, a TV station A will have its news at maybe 6 p.m. But before 6 p.m., the issues are already in the social media. They are on our phones. So now you don't have to wait till 6 p.m. to go and listen to news. No, I have the thing on my phone. So why should I go and listen to 6 p.m. news? Go and tune into TV station or radio station to listen to 6 p.m. news. Let me cite an example. A few hours ago on the social media, I will say my station gave an opportunity to a lady to speak against, quote unquote, Asante 4 and then that of the Asante Hene.
Okay.
And so the issue came up, it came into the social media and so on and so forth. A few minutes ago, I saw on the social media, my station, heads of stations, the lady herself, the presenter, the producers are in Menchia to apologize. Okay, I saw it on the social media a while ago, but some stations will wait until maybe 6 p.m. or 7 p.m. before they will package it and bring it into the news. That time, as far as social media is concerned, that is a dead news. So the impact of the social media on the traditional media is very huge. And if you're not careful, we are going to lose the traditional media. Another example. Now, some newspapers are folding up in the country because, one, people are not buying it. The reason why people are not buying it is that, just as I said, by the time the newspapers will come out the next day, the news is already out. It's on the Facebook, it's on WhatsApp, it's on other websites for people to read. So why should I spend money to go and buy a newspaper? No. So that is how we are going, my brother.
Wow. We'll keep our fingers crossed because when there is this dilution, it turns out that some people will, because they want to be the first, they will very often probably come out with news that is not very authentic, and that could also be a danger. But all the same, I want us to look at your book, Basic Broadcasting Production Principles. But even before we find out what the motivation for you going to write such a beautiful book, let's take the views that has been expressed so far by our followers, and then we'll come back and then we'll look at the book and then the motivation behind it. Okay, thank you very much. Yeah. So that is MyView Show coming to you live on today's Ghana News TV. Wherever you are, as usual, we share our views on pertinent topics that concern Mother Ghana. So wherever you are, we are picking your feed and then we will read it to the rest of our followers. Patience says, good evening, Doc and your team, watching from Hamburg, Germany. Patience, we are grateful that you are always part of the show. Ghana in Fear, watching and listening from Bosunso in the Fantea South District. As for Ghana in Fear there, we'll salute you. You are here to take over from Mavis. Kempem says, please ask him how will he rate the media and journalism work in Ghana. Has the standard fallen or rising? Watching from Paris, France. Okay. Okay, Bob, I will ask him. He's already rated it, but I will still ask him for more for you. Diaspora, NDC diaspora, there is room for improvement. The media, especially journalists in Ghana, most of them are in the profession because of their pockets. Greetings from Amsterdam, Holland. We'll take it that way because right now every professional is looking at the packets, but how the packet influences your output is what is very important. Asampahani Boache says the journalists in Ghana are all aligned to political parties. That is why they don't speak the truth. Watching and listening from Achim Iman. Well, we'll ask Mr. Otto about it, and then let's see if this is really the truth, but that is the perception on the ground. Mr. Frimpong says, I'm watching from Agusenia, Somonia. You guys are doing a great job. We are grateful, Mr. Bafi. Okay. I think, Richmond, good evening to you and your guests watching from Frankfurt. Wow, Richmond, we are grateful that you are part of the show all the way from Frankfurt. Great to have you. Fans TV watching from Aflao, Volta region. Great that you are carrying our feed as well. And then Lady Mal too, watching on Switch from St. Petersburg, Russia. Good evening, journalists in Ghana. Good evening, journalists in Ghana. I believe they are doing their very best. Is the situation. Their remuneration and everything is what could have driven them to where we are today. But wherever you are, this is MyView Show coming to you live on today's Ghana News TV. And this evening, we are looking at a book review, a book on basic broadcasting principles. And therefore, we will want to come to Mr. Otto once again and then ask him his motivation for going into such a book. Mr. Otto, we want to find out, welcome back. And
thank you.
We want to find out what motivated you to go into such an area, production. I'm told production within the communication sector is a very difficult area. I'm pretty sure you will solve a lot of problems.
Yeah, thank you very much. I answer this question in 3 areas. I'll give you 3 reasons or 3 motivations that I wrote this book. Now, as a producer of a TV or a radio station, you do, let me say, the dirty work. It is the most difficult aspect of the media work globally, not only in Ghana.
Okay.
That is as a producer. As a producer, you own the show. You are the custodian of the show that is being run, not the presenter. That's what we have to understand. The presenters are only there to moderate. But as a producer, you are the custodian, you are the owner. You are it's a property that belongs to you as a producer. And so producers are very powerful, but most people don't know, especially those that are not professionals, because they are not into our profession. They don't even know there's somebody called producer. So along the line, I had the opportunity of teaching in media schools. And anytime, one of the topics, what I was teaching was production for radio and TV. And anytime I'm done teaching, my students will approach me and say, Charlie, what you taught us, it is good. We want to be your personal assistant because we want to learn more. But I'll tell them, Charlie, I am not there yet. So just take your time because you want to be my personal assistant. I cannot employ you. I cannot feed you. So you hold on. I will get back to you. Another reason, just as I said, as a producer, you own the show. And for the 21 years that I've been in the media, my duties have been producing news, morning show, the most difficult aspect of the job. That's what I do. And people see it as extraordinary, but I see it as doing or performing my duties. But people say it's actually, hey, oh yeah, how do you do this? So in the year 2014, around November 2014, December thereabout, I told myself, why don't I start something like this? Put down something or write something. So I started. I'll put down the points, how I work or how I start. I put them down. I started putting them down from 2014 till 2015. Then something happened. So I had to hold on. So I kept the book somewhere till 2017. I came back to it again. Something happened in 2018. But 2018, I started my LLB. I started schooling, so I had to hold on because schooling and writing a book is not easy.
Yeah.
Writing a book demands a whole lot. Think and so on and so forth. So I had to put it down. So in the year 2021, I went back to the book and then started writing. So the motivations have been one, I wanted to kind of help shape how production is done. Because if we can produce properly, a presenter will not sit on air and say things that should not be said.
Yeah.
For example, I think I gave an example of today, my station, and with your permission, if I can mention the name,
Yeah.
that's Dunia TV. Munaguchi's show was used, quote and unquote, to incite people against Asantehene, to incite people against their Ashantis. So around that time, my question was, what was the producer doing? Because as a producer, if you were proactive enough, you could have prompted your presenter that, Madam, tell the guests not to say certain things, not to go there because he or she is going the wrong way. That's the job of the producer. As a producer, you are the gatekeeper. You keep the gate. You have to make sure things do not go wrong. Okay, so one of my motivations is to ensure that we have a proper way of doing things. Because we cannot just get up and say, I am an accountant. I don't think it is done that way. You cannot just get up and say, I am a lawyer. Maybe I stand to be corrected, but I've never seen it before. But here in the media, somebody can just get up and say, I'm a producer without having the necessary, required, or properly, or the normal training. Okay, and that is what is hampering our job as producers, as media person, because our gatekeeping rule is such that you don't have to sit and let things go wrong, because if they go wrong, you will be held responsible. If I say you, I mean the producer, because just as I said, a producer is the overall boss. You are the custodian of the show. Another reason, and then that's the last reason. Yes, the reason that the last motivation that, or the last thing that motivated me to write the book. Along the line, I wanted something to read about how production is done. Because just as I said, for me, anywhere I was employed, I was given a duty as a producer. But I thought, oh, as for me, I'm doing my job just to put food on the table. But people see it as extraordinary. So I decided to write. When I thought of writing, I told myself, okay, so let me try and find out if I can get a book on production. not only in Ghana, but globally. And brother, it will interest you to know that I could not get even a page on production. I'm saying it for a fact. There is no book anywhere under the sun written on production for radio and television. So I went to the University of Ghana library. I couldn't get a copy. I went to University of Cape Coast library. I couldn't get. I went to Ghana Institute of Journalism. I couldn't get a copy. So I went to 2 private universities in Ghana here. That is JE Institute, to see if I could get even a copy, a page on production. There was nothing. I went to AUCC, also a private university, not even a page on production. So I came to the internet. I started searching on the internet to see if I could get even, like I said, a page on production. And lo and behold, I couldn't get it. So I told myself, then it means there is the need for me to write. And so that is how come I came up with the book titled Basic Broadcast Production Principles, my brother.
Wow. That's a wonderful motivation from your side. But one thing that clicks my mind right now is this. In developing the curriculum for training journalists in these institutions, don't they pay attention to the role of production?
I will say yes, because I think I've worked in about 5 radio stations in Ghana.
Yeah.
And in all this, just as I said, my key role is to do production, either for news or for morning show, for other programs, current affairs production. From the beginning, they will look at your contributions during our meeting. Now, in journalism, there's something we call newsroom conference.
Okay.
Now, newsroom conference talks about a meeting of journalists to brainstorm, to come up with news ideas for the day. Because as a journalist, you will not sit down for the ideas to come. Of course, some of them, you can get them easily. Others, you need to crack your brain. You need to think before you get the ideas. So one of the sources of news is newsroom conference. Now, newsroom conference is such that the media, the news department or the programming department will meet on a daily basis, come up with news idea, of course, on how to treat the ideas, who should treat it, who should we call, and so on and so forth. So it is during this time that producers for key programs are picked.
Okay.
So, for example, during the meeting, Jerome, maybe your contribution towards criticizing, analyzing issues were good. You could be asked to produce a show. That is how it is done. So we do not have a laid down procedure or any training for producers. You go to school as a journalist, you are trained as a journalist, but we don't have any course in any of our universities on production.
Okay. I was going to ask the relevance of it, but once you have made this statement, everybody knows that this book actually comes to occupy a very big vacuum that people have not paid attention to. And as you rightly explained, the producer is the ultimate person responsible for what happens within the show. So he has to direct and ensure that things are done within the confines of the law. And if you have not been given that special eye to be able to combine and identify some of these areas, then you run the risk of running the entire organization into chaos.
You're right.
Good. So what do we expect? When is the reviewing taking place, and what do we expect?
Okay, so hopefully we are launching it on the October 4th. It's a Friday evening. The launch will be at 6 p.m. I am expecting the MP for Asin Central, Honorable Kennedy Japon, to launch the book, hopefully for me and then for Ghana on the day. So that is the detail. We will be launching it at the Christ the King. It's rightly opposite Jubilee House in Accra.
Yeah.
Guests are to be seated by 5 p.m. 6 p.m. we start. It shouldn't take more than an hour. So this is the deal.
That is, viewers, wherever you are, right on our screen is an invitation to the book launch. The date is 4th October 2024, and the venue is Christ the King Hall opposite Jubilee House. And we expect that guests should be seated by 5 p.m. and then the event will start exactly 6 p.m. If you come a little late, by the time you read that, the event will have been over. There are telephone numbers that you can contact for more information, and I'm pretty sure with those telephone numbers, 0244 268552. If you dial that number, there is a second one as well. I think my producer will have to see how best we can get it clearly. But if you are everybody is invited, especially right now we have so many people on the roadside who call themselves journalists. There are people who have been trained in the wayside who want to be called journalists. This is a book that is available. Make use of it and to help you in the work that you want to do. You know, there are so many. The media per capita index has gone very high. There are so many media stations, and they just put everybody there to handle a show without taking into cognizance the repercussions should things go wrong.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Let me give you an example. I was producing one of the show in Ghana here, and then I had not started my law degree, the LLM degree, so I had little knowledge about law. Now my presenter asked a question. It was a law question, which was not properly asked. My brother, after the show, my production manager nearly killed me because I allowed my presenter to ask the question, even though I was not in the head or the mind, or I didn't know that the presenter was going to ask that question around that particular time. But my production manager said, as a producer, you should have drawn his attention to the fact that the person quoted portion of the Constitution which was wrong. So I should have known. Good. Okay. So it goes back to what I said, that as a producer, you own the show. You are the custodian of the show, not the presenter. Presenter is just, let me use the word just.
Yeah.
The face of the show. I'm not using the word just to belittle any presenter. No, not even you, because I'm talking to you. So not that I'm belittling presenters in general. No, but a producer is the owner of the show, and not even the owner of the station as far as the shows are concerned.
Yeah, that one is very true. That one is very true, because the ultimate responsibility is on your shoulders.
Yes.
As the presenter of that particular show. So apart from Honorable Kennedy Yapon, who are the others that we expect to be present?
Okay, so just as you said, we are inviting everyone, especially owners of media houses. If I say the reason I'm inviting the owners of media houses, they employ. They have the power, the authority to hire. And so if you are employing somebody to be a producer of a particular show, and my brother, let me go back a little. This one is not about a sports show, a gospel show, a political show, entertainment show. It is every show on TV, on radio. So every media owner, everybody who owns a media house is invited. But apart from that, I am hoping to see, or we are hoping to see Father Dixon of Peace FM. I am in talks with them to see if I can get him. Dr. Papakwesi Indium, as we speak, Dr. Papakwesi Indium has the highest number of radio stations across the country.
Wow.
I'm telling you, he has a radio station in almost every corner of Ghana. But some are not functioning as we speak. Yes, but he has the highest number of radio stations in the country. Apart from that, we are also hoping to see Tobinko. He also owns Atinka TV, Atinka FM, and then few other media houses across the country. And a host of others. I am also in talks with Kesben. He also owns Kwame Adinkra. I don't know whether you know Kwame Adinkra, but Kwame Adinkra, yeah, he was one of the person I worked with. He promised coming, but at long last, he called to say something has come up, so he cannot make it. And a host of others, other dignities or other Bolare, I'm also in touch with him to also come and grace the occasion. And other senior journalists in the country are also hoping to grace the occasion.
I think we have to look at, right now there are a lot of, I wouldn't say mushroom institute of journalism, or let me say wayside, because I cannot say for a fact whether they have accreditation or not. But what I do know is that you find some single rooms somewhere that are channeling out people within the interest or the wide area of journalism. I think we have to try and get those ones too on board, because this will be a very resource material that will help them in coming out with people that will enable us get very good programs on our televisions and on our radio stations.
Yes, my brother, you are right. So just on Friday, I went to one of the schools, just as we are talking about. In fact, this one has accreditation. So I will say they are okay if you get the opportunity to train yourself there. But the school is GH Media. I'm also in talks with them for them to accept the book as one of their course materials and also be at the launch. Just as you said, I will keep on talking to some of these schools. In fact, I am hoping to get the schools that I mentioned. For example, the University of Ghana. Just as I said, I went there, I couldn't get even a page on production. That of UCC, the same. So I'm hoping to get them all on board for them to see if they can accept it as part of their course materials for their students. So that's also in the pipeline. And I thank you for the idea.
That's perfect. Well, so right now, I don't know whether we are jumping the gun, but we've already sent out the invitation. Anybody who is interested in participating should be at the Christ the King Hall, and the person is welcome. However, if somebody is interested in acquiring this book, where is it already on the shelves?
Okay, so not yet. As we speak, it is not on the shelves, but in Ghana here, if you want the book, it will be in almost every media house in the country. Almost every media house in the country will have copies to sell if anybody wants, get to any media house in Ghana, you can get it. Apart from that, the numbers that you mentioned, the one on the invite. In fact, the book itself has my number. But on the more important note, I will make sure I put it on Amazon so that wherever you are, you can have access to it. Because just as I said, no one has written about this under the planet. That is per my research.
Wow.
Okay, so I'm not looking at only the Ghanaian market. No, I am not looking at only the Ghanaian market. I am looking at the global market because nobody has written about it.
What would have caused this? Because I'm really surprised.
Yeah. If you ask me what would have caused this, it would be difficult for me to answer. But I will say because we have not paid attention to that aspect. We've not paid attention to that aspect. And that is why sometimes in Ghana here, some of our presenters will go wayward. Because they say things that should not have been said. And then you find themselves wanting. Okay, we've not paid attention to that. So I think it's now that by God's grace, God has given me that, can I say, idea to come up with such a book.
Good. Before I ask you how many chapters we expect to find in the book and a few tidbits, there is a question coming from Nyame, one of our followers, a very popular tea seller in Konta, in the OT region. He is asking, how do you see the contribution of community information centers? You know, there are some communities, they have this information center. He wants to find out what has been their contributions.
My brother, their contributions have also been very, very important because, for example, they liaise with local TV stations, local radio stations, and for that matter, they also disseminate the information from these TV stations, these radio stations in their local areas. Apart from that, some of them actually participate in debates in issues that are going on in their local areas or in their communities. So we cannot also overlook the contribution of information centers. They are also very, very important. They are helping.
Wonderful. I'm sure Mr. Nyame will be excited because he's taking a feed from our show for the people in Adalema in the OT region. So
that is good.
We appreciate what they are doing. So looking at the book, how many chapters are we expecting and what are the few tidbits that will excite a lot of people who are interested in production to ensure that they have a copy?
With the chapters, we have 25 chapters.
Wonderful.
25 chapters with 216 pages. If we add the references to it, it will be 217 pages.
Wow.
Good. Wow. So if you ask me one of the tidbits that we should expect, for example, how do you get a contact of someone or something which has happened somewhere? For example, we will sit in Accra here. My station, my radio station, my TV station is in Accra. Something will happen in Bali, but as a producer, it is my responsibility to get the person or what has happened in that area for my viewers, my readers, and my listeners. How do you go about it? The book will teach you.
Whoa.
Again, let me add another one. Just as we started, our job is such that it is the most difficult part of radio and TV. And for that matter, it comes with stress. Stress and production are like Obidin Echiba. And the book will teach you how to manage stress. So it is not only about the producing. It also talks about the health aspect of it. What must you as a producer do whilst the program is ongoing live? There are things as a producer you have to do. There are things that you don't have to do. Things that a presenter must do whilst the program is ongoing. Things that a presenter must not do. They are all in. And many others. Many others.
I think a lot of people need to get hold of this book, especially the process by which to get a contact of a person at a place where an incident has taken place.
Yeah.
You know, it's very key if they want to be in the business. If you want to give accurate information, you want to give relevant information with people on the ground, you really need to get hold of this book that will help you to go through the processes, because you might not know anybody, but the book gives you the lead. And surely, I believe that every broadcasting house should even get a copy for their producers. That would be a very good thing. That would be a very good thing. And I believe strongly that it's a very good step. You know, as it is, it's a gray area. It is an area that is of relevance to communication, but it's sort of we have not paid attention to it. We haven't paid attention. That is why the difficulty with you going from one university library to the other and not finding even a page on production. And I think it's congratulations. It's a good job, because to write a book, it is not an easy thing, because you must be in a position to satisfy at least majority of the people whom are the target for the book. And I think we are very proud of you, and surely we are hoping that many more seasoned journalists would have identified some of these loopholes and try to cover them. And that will help us. Because if we in Ghana were unable to write certain books or in reference to particular curriculum as what we are developing, and we want to rely on something from another country, it will not help us. Well, we need to use our local experience and our local environment to develop ourselves. And I think it's in the right direction. I mean, congratulations, my brother.
Thank you. I'm so much grateful.
Yes. So basically, we've seen everything, and the date is on the 4th of October at Christ the King Hall, right opposite the Black Star House. Exactly. So wherever you are, please book that date. Let that date be open. 4th October 2024 is a Friday, and the time you should be seated by 5 p.m. The event starts at 6 p.m.
Exactly.
And we are very privileged that the chairman for the occasion is no other person but Honorable Kennedy Ohene Ajepon, the MP for Asim Central. There will be many more journalists, seasoned journalists there to grace the occasion. Be part of
the showdown man. Honorable Kennedy Ajepon, the showdown man.
That is lovely. That is lovely. So, before I let you go, there is somebody says, Dr. Jerome, thank you for the compliment. Okay. I love your shows. We are grateful that you are part of you are always part of us, Ghana in Fear. Now, before we run down, let me come back to asking you to relate. Let everybody see the importance of this book. I want you to tell everybody how important this book is, and especially our people at the Ghana Institute of Journalism and all other schools that are training people in the area of journalism. Please, let's invite them and tell them. Okay,
so if you ask me why this book is important to our profession, because we are also in the media industry, the only thing I would say is it is going to shape how we produce content for TV, radio, and even social media. That's the only thing I would say. It is going to shape how we produce content for radio, TV, and social media. And I'm inviting everybody, students, journalists who are practicing, who are yet to even get into the media, or who are yet to start school. They are all invited to the launch on Friday, October 4th, 2024.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Before I let you go, I want to take your view on our current issues in the country, especially the elections 2024. You mentioned about the opposition party talking to the media about the concerns that they have raised. So, the media, how relevant is the media in helping us have a very peaceful elections?
Well, my brother, that is also one of the things. In fact, that is one of the reasons why I want to launch the book before the elections. Yes. In fact, that is the reason why I want to launch the book before the election. Because, like I said, the media can be used to foment trouble, especially now we have the influx of social media, radio stations, TV stations. These ratings, because they travel very fast and at a speed, they can be used to foment trouble. But if I, as a producer, the trouble, the information will actually come to the producer. That is how it happens. So if a producer knows his or her right, what to do, what information to put out, what not to put out, it is going to help in ensuring peace. Because, for example, if I get information, I weigh the information, see the pros and cons of the information that I have. If I get to know that if I put the information out, it is going to bring chaos, I will not put the information out. And that, to me, it is paramount as far as our December elections are concerned. Because during the day, you'll be sitting on your TV watching, you'll be listening to your radio station. It is what the presenters are going to tell you that is going to inform you, the viewer or the listener, to go on the streets and foment trouble or not. Such information will come through the producers. So if I'm a producer, if I get information, I decide to give to my presenter or not. Yeah. And that is, to me, how the media is helping in ensuring that we have a peaceful election.
And the more reason why your book is very paramount at this particular time, to guide all the people who produce programs.
Exactly.
More helpful. So to all the media houses out there, to all our big friends who are into the issues of journalism, this book is a must. You must have it in your library. You must have it among your collections. Even if your media house is unable to get it, for your own safety and for being above and very relevant in your own profession, get hold of this book, Basic Broadcasting Production Principles. And we are very proud that Mr. Timothy Enshui Otto has made time to put out such a book, an area that has not been paid attention to greatly in all the journalism training cycles. So it has been a great opportunity sharing our views with Mr. Otto on the book. And the review is coming up on the 4th of October at Christ the King Hall, right opposite the Flagstaff House. We should be seated by 5 p.m. and the program will start at 6 p.m. Make sure you are there support him. This is an academic work he has done, and we are very proud of it. That so far, it is an area that he has sufficiently provided information that will help you and I, as producers of programs, to be able to give what is relevant and how that relevant information is given to the public. So do not make a mistake. Join us on the 4th of October and be part of this great show. Until we come your way once again on Monday, this has been your producer. Producer is able set, and my very good guest, Mr. Entry Otto. So we'll give Mr. Otto the opportunity to say his final words to our viewers, and then we run down the show.
Okay, so first, let me express my gratitude to Mr. Setadi. I think we started here. Yes, we started together, and so I'm so much grateful. Thank you so much, and to you, my able presenter. God richly bless you, and to all our viewers across the globe, I say thank you for allowing me into your homes, and wherever you are, I am inviting you to the launch of the first ever book on producing a program on TV and then on radio station. It's very simple. The grammar, everything is very simple. In fact, if you follow it, even if you are not a professional, you should be able to produce a TV or radio program. Yes, if you're able to read it, follow the steps, you should be able to provide or produce a show on TV or on radio. So I'm grateful for your time. Thank you so much.
Yo, Yamamo Ajo Esan Emamu Akaba Edubano Kerme Di Ede Antonia Kipa Ifa Anya de no Krenum Atubibia Ewose Edda.
Tune in on Today's Ghana News TV on our usual socio-political show, MyView.
Jumedi and Today Ghana News TV, so on Today Ghana News TV, we're going live on YouTube.
And then so I have ready for some anyway share Today Ghana News TV Kasafidie Show.
Today Ghana News TV, we are the masters of the game.
I'm sure my producer said Ade will get hold of this book, and that will help us in going forward. Until we come your way next week on another edition of MyView Show on Today's Ghana News TV, this is Jerome Pan, your host, saying good night and God bless you.
The country where I come from, the truth is irony, just like animal farm. Justice mean inequity, so who go say the truth? Who go say the truth? Christian can say silence, Islamic leaders